Shannon Doherty, a trailblazing actress of the 90s, captured the restless spirit of a generation with roles that dared to defy expectations. Olivia Newton-John, the timeless singer-actress, turned pop stardom into cinematic magic, reminding us that music can rewrite a film's soul. Toby Keith, the outlaw country legend, sang the stories of everyday heroes, turning hard-won truths into anthems of resilience. Kirstie Alley, the Emmy-winning star, broke barriers with her fearless humor, proving that wit can be a weapon on any screen. Quincy Jones, the maestro of sound, shaped the soundtrack of a generation, turning rhythm into the heartbeat of cultural change. Richard Lewis, the sharp-tongued comedian, turned observational sarcasm into a mirror that reflected society's quirks and contradictions. The night the call came, Harrison Ford was standing in a cramped carpentry shop in Los Angeles, the smell of fresh pine and sawdust mixing with the late summer heat. He had spent the past year swinging hammers and building cabinets for strangers, a far cry from the bright sets of Hollywood, because the roles he coveted were slipping through his fingers. After a string of small parts, a brief flash in the conversation, a nervous cameo in American Graffiti, the doors of the industry seemed to close, and the actor inside him wondered whether the dream was a mirage. In a moment of quiet resignation, he told his wife, actress Melissa Matheson, that he might finally quit acting and settle into a life of woodwork, a trade that paid the bills but left his creative heart aching. It was then that George Lucas, a relatively unknown filmmaker, still riding the wave of his own indie success, reached out. Lucas had watched a rough cut of American Graffiti and saw in Ford a rugged, everyman quality he needed for the smuggler pilot Han Solo. The call was brief, the offer simple. A few days on set, a cheap costume, a blaster, and a name that would become iconic. Ford, whose career had teetered on the brink, hesitated. He remembered the sting of rejection from Apocalypse Now, the grueling hours on the Conversation set, and the countless auditions that ended in silence. Yet the spark of possibility flickered. He told Melissa, "What if this is the one?" And the carpenter's tools were set aside. The filming of Star Wars was a crucible. Ford arrived on set with little fanfare, his hands still calloused from work, his mind still haunted by the doubts that had plagued him. Director George Lucas, a visionary with a penchant for mythic storytelling, pushed Ford to embody the swagger and cynicism of a spacefaring rogue. The relationship between director and actor was a dance of trust. Lucas trusted Ford to bring a grounded humanity to a galaxy far, far away, while Ford trusted Lucas to give him a platform that could finally launch his career. Their collaboration birthed a character who would become a cultural touchstone, and the film's release in 1977 turned the carpenter's world upside down. When the lights went out on the premiere night, the audience roared. Han Solo's first words, "I've got a bad feeling about this," echoed through theaters worldwide. Ford's performance was lauded for its natural charisma, a quality that critics noted had been missing from the polished yet sterile actors of the era. The success of Star Wars was not just a box office triumph, it was a personal renaissance. Ford's name flashed across headlines, his agent's phone rang non-stop, and offers flooded in. Yet the actor who had once measured success by the number of nails he could drive into a wall, now faced a new crossroads. How to navigate fame without losing the authenticity that had made his breakout role resonate. The next pivotal chapter arrived in 1981 with Raiders of the Lost Ark. Spielberg, another titan of cinema, saw in Ford the perfect partner for the adventurous archaeologist Indiana Jones. Their relationship was built on mutual respect. Spielberg admired Ford's ability to blend humor with gravitas, while Ford appreciated Spielberg's knack for turning ordinary moments into cinematic legend. The partnership produced a character that, like Han Solo, became a cultural archetype, the wry, daring hero with a hidden heart of gold. The film's success cemented Ford's status as a leading man, capable of carrying blockbuster franchises, and it also showed him that the industry could be more than a series of fleeting roles. It could be a canvas for enduring myth-making. Yet fame did not erase the personal challenges that had shaped Ford's journey. Throughout the 1990s, he wrestled with the pressures of being a Hollywood icon while trying to protect his family's privacy. His marriage to Callista Flockhart, a fellow actor, brought a new dynamic, a partnership where both parties understood the demands of the spotlight. Their relationship illustrated a core theme of Ford's career, the balance between public persona and private life. In interviews, Ford often spoke of his love for aviation, a passion that grounded him amid the chaos of stardom. The cockpit became his sanctuary, a place where the weight of celebrity could be shed and the pure joy of flight could take over. In 2000, Ford faced another turning point with What Lies Beneath, a psychological thriller that demanded a more subdued, introspective performance. The film's success demonstrated his versatility, proving that he could evolve beyond the swashbuckling hero archetype. Around the same time, Ford became an outspoken advocate for environmental causes, aligning his public platform with his personal convictions. His partnership with Conservation International and his support for renewable energy projects added another layer to his public identity, showing that his influence extended beyond the silver screen. The most dramatic pivot came in 2015, when a private plane crash left Ford with serious injuries. The accident, which occurred during a routine flight, forced him to confront his mortality in a stark, literal sense. The recovery process was grueling, but it also reinforced his commitment to living fully and using his platform for good. He returned to acting with renewed vigor, taking on roles that reflected his evolving perspective, from the seasoned mentor in The Call of the Wild to the introspective pilot in Blade Runner 2049, where he reprised the role of Rick Deckard, a character that had once threatened to define his career. Today, Harrison Ford stands at another crossroads, one defined not by a single role, but by a legacy of reinvention. He continues to work on new projects, including a forthcoming Star Wars saga that promises to explore the galaxy's past and future. His involvement in the franchise, decades after his first appearance, underscores a career that refuses to be static. Moreover, his ongoing environmental advocacy, including a recent partnership with the International Space Exploration Consortium, positions him as a figure who bridges entertainment and activism. The story of Harrison Ford is not a linear ascent, but a series of decisive moments where risk met opportunity. From the carpenter's workshop to the cockpit, from the Rebel Alliance to the archaeological temples of Egypt. Each turning point was shaped by relationships. Mentors like George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, partners like Callista Flockhart, and even the strangers who hired him as a carpenter. These connections forged a narrative of resilience, reminding viewers that the line between obscurity and legend can be as thin as a wooden plank, and that the choice to step forward, even when the future is uncertain, can change the course of cultural history. As Ford walks the red carpet today, he does so not as a relic of the past, but as a living testament to the power of taking the next step when destiny knocks. His story continues to unfold, and each new chapter invites audiences to ask, what will the next crossroads look like for a man who once traded a hammer for a blaster, and who now trades fame for purpose? The answer lies not in the past, but in the choices he makes tomorrow, echoing the same daring spirit that turned a carpenter's call into a galaxy-spanning legend.